What's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day as always. It's your boy Phil. I'm here to continue my ongoing analysis for the top 10 fantasy football positions. My last video was for running backs. Today I'm going to do my top 10 fantasy wideouts for the upcoming season. So without any other BS, let's get into the list. If you all agree, feel free to like or comment down below. If you disagree, feel free to comment down below. Subscribe, hit me up. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the back and forth. So in my opinion, without further ado, let's get into it. An honorable mention, I have Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys. The reason why I have him in honorable mention is because all the talent is there. The scheme is there. They have a great running back in Ezekiel Elliott that's there. But the question is not the offense or the ability for him to get the ball. The question with Amari Cooper has always been consistency. He'll have a game where he gets you 150 yards and 2-3 touchdowns, and the next game he'll come out and get 40 yards on 5 catches. So you don't know what you're going to get from him every single week. The talent is there, but will he be consistent? That's the question. If he's consistent, he's a top 5 caliber receiver. So that's why I'm putting him in honorable mention, because he's a mixed bag with him. You're gonna have weeks where he's the MVP of your fantasy team. You're gonna have weeks where you're like, where are you? How come why did I even start you in the first place? So that's why he's in that position. So number 10, we're gonna start off with Adam Thielen from the Minnesota Vikings. Last year he had a fabulous season. Pro Bowl numbers. Played very well the first 12 games of the season, and then after that he kind of fell off a little bit. But I think they'll be a little bit more consistent this season in Minnesota, and there's no reason to think that he can't duplicate the numbers that he had last year or even get better. So with that being said, I feel that he is going to have a very solid season, and that's why he's at number 9 on my list, with season projection in yardage of 1,302 and total touchdowns with 8. I think he's very capable of outdoing the touchdown numbers, but we'll see how that all pans out in Minnesota. But with Kirk Cousins, he's a mixed bag sometimes as well. Some games he's lights out, and some games the lights are on and nobody's home. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Number 9, Antonio Brown, Mr. Big Chest. The only question about Antonio Brown this year is Derek Carr. Antonio Brown is, in my opinion, the best receiver in the NFL. He's ridiculous. But the drop-off in quarterback from Ben Roethlisberger to Derek Carr, are the opportunities going to be there for him to produce at the level that he's been producing? I still think he's going to be a very, very good receiver. I don't know if he'll be able to put up Pittsburgh-type numbers in the offense that they're going to have, but I do know for a fact that he's going to be the number 1 passing option in that offense, and I know he's going to have opportunities to make plays. Will Derek Carr put him in the right positions with those opportunities to make plays? That's all still left to be seen. So, the book's still out on that Oakland offense, but in my opinion, Antonio Brown's still the best receiver in football, so he deserves to be on this top 10 list. His season projection for next season would be 1,275 yards and 9 touchdowns. I feel like the yardage is definitely going to go up. I think the touchdowns are about right, but I think that projection in the yardage is a little bit low. I think he'll be in the 1,500 yard range. And he's in most drafts he's going in the 2nd and 3rd round, so he's a steal at this point. So keep your radar open in your drafts. See where he falls at. Keep an eye on him. If he's available in 2nd, 3rd round, snatch him up, because he's one of the best in the game and the best in the game in my opinion. So you can pick him with confidence. I think he'll be just fine. Will he have Pittsburgh numbers? I don't know, but I think he's still going to have good numbers regardless. Number 8, we're going to go with Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans is a target machine. Jameis Winston is going to throw to him. I know Chris Godwin is supposed to step up and have a really good year this year as well, and he definitely, in my opinion, he will. But Mike Evans is the number 1 option on that offense, and Jameis Winston is going to pepper him with targets like he does every season. And Mike Evans is going to continue to produce at a Pro Bowl level, and he's a red zone target as well. So looking for him to continue his consistency and have another great season. His fantasy projection, yardage-wise, is 1,377, and his touchdown projection total is 9. I think the touchdowns could be in the 10 to 12 range, if I had to guess. But, either way, he's going to have a great season. So you can draft him with confidence as well. My number 7 wide receiver is Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a big play guy. Always been quiet the whole game, then hit you with a 60-yard touchdown. But they've started to get him the ball in different ways, in the running game as well, doing end arounds and reverses and things of that nature. He's also worked on his possession receiver game, the middle to intermediate routes and the short routes as well. So with him, he's the number 1 passing op, actually he's number 2 passing op, and Jason Kelsey's number 1. But in that offense, it's wide open. Patrick Mahomes throws the ball all over the field. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Tyreek Hill to produce as well this year. So I think he'll be fine. And he's probably going to put up some rushing numbers as well. But his receiving totals for next season are 1,308, and total touchdowns is 8 as well. I don't know if he'll pass the touchdowns, but I do think it's an opportunity for him to go higher with the yardage. So we'll see how that all pans out in Kansas City. Number 6 on my list is Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh. He is now the number 1 target. The number 1 target in Pittsburgh gets peppered. Big Ben looked for him all last year with Antonio Brown on the field. So without Antonio Brown, I think he's going to get just as much, if not more, targets. So the opportunities will be there for Juju Smith-Schuster. We don't know that I'm sure teams will focus on stopping him, which they weren't last year because they were focused on stopping Antonio Brown, which probably led to a lot of the numbers that he had. But I think he's such a talented receiver. I don't think it matters if he's double covered. I think Ben Roethlisberger is still going to give him the opportunities. I think he's going to come down with more balls than he doesn't. So he's another safe pick. He's going late first round, early second round in most drafts. So keep an eye out for him on your fantasy board, and he's another safe pick to have a great season. His projected totals for next season is 1,433 yards and 9 touchdowns. I think that's about right in the neighborhood where he will be. He may get a couple more touchdowns, but that's still left to be seen. Ben Roethlisberger has a lot to prove this year because a lot of people that left, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell didn't have a lot of nice things to say about him. But apparently management and the coaching staff likes him because he got a new contract. So we'll see what happens in Pittsburgh. It's going to be an interesting season for them. Number 5, Mike Thomas. Dude's a beast. What more can I say about Mike Thomas? He catches everything thrown at him. 0 drop passes last year. Drew Brees is throwing in the football. It's a wide open offense. Sean Payton is great at creating opportunities for his team, and he always gets the ball into his playmakers' hands. And they have the 2 main playmakers on the New Orleans Saints are Alvin Kamara, of course, and Mike Thomas, and both of them will get ample opportunity to produce, and both of them I feel will produce. Mike Thomas will have a great season. He just got a new contract, so he's got the bag. Now he's just going to go out and prove that he's worth the bag. So feel free and be very, very comfortable drafting Mike Thomas because he's going to reward you with another huge season. His projection for yardage next season will be 1,386 yards, and he's projected at 10 touchdowns. He should do that and more. So feel free and be comfortable drafting him because he's going to put up some numbers for you. Number 4, OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. Odell is probably the most physically gifted and talented receiver in the NFL, but there's always some drama around him. So if he can set aside all the BS and just focus on football, I feel like he can have one of the greatest fantasy seasons ever for a wide receiver in the offense in Cleveland, because he's going to get the opportunities. The ball is going to be coming his way. Baker Mayfield is going to get the ball to him one way or another. He's going to have opportunities to catch the football. So as long as he does that and does his thing, he has the opportunity to produce at a very, very high level, at the level he's accustomed to producing in. Last couple seasons, Eli Manning was his quarterback, and we all know that Eli's years are way, way, way behind him. So with the upgraded quarterback, you can look to Odell Beckham to have a bounce back and very, very productive season this year. And you can draft him with the utmost comfortability. I don't even know that's a word. I just invented that just now. But you can be comfortable in drafting Odell Beckham anywhere in the first round or second round in your draft, and he's going to produce for you. His projections for next season is 1,437 yards and 9 touchdowns is his projected total. I think that's about right for him. They do have other weapons there, so I'm sure that he's not going to get the targets that some of the other number ones are going to get. But the targets that he's going to get, I think he's going to make the most out of. He's going to have a lot of big plays, and they're going to be very, very good in Cleveland. That's going to be a very good offense. Which moves us down to the number 3 wide receiver on my list. That will be Davante Adams from the Green Bay Packers. He's basically Aaron Rodgers' safety blanket, and Aaron Rodgers is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. So if you have a guy that Aaron Rodgers leans on, he's going to get the football, and he's going to get the football in position to make plays, on stride, on time. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Health into consideration. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be worth your while as the number 3 wide receiver off the board. He's a very consistent, great player, and he's in position to have a really, really huge season for the Green Bay Packers. So we'll see how it all pans out for him. But I like what I see from him in the years past, and going into this year, I think he's going to be one of the best. So the projection for him is 1,387 yards and 11 touchdowns, which is about right. He might get a little bit more yards depending on how the game flow goes. I do think that Green Bay has a very tough schedule, so they might be behind in some games, so they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more. So I feel like, Davante Adams is going to get ample opportunities to produce. It's just a matter of him going out and doing it, and Aaron Rodgers is going to put him in position with his accuracy. So no problem drafting Davante Adams right there at that point. Which brings us to number 2, DeAndre Nuke Hopkins. Do I need to even elaborate on how good he is? I don't. He's one of the best in the game. It doesn't matter what quarterback he has throwing in the football, he's going to produce at a high level, and he's going to get a lot of volume. Deshaun Watson is more than any average quarterback. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the game, so there's no question in my mind that DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a great season. He's a grown man playing against boys. Great hands, didn't drop a pass all last year. Spectacular. So feel free and comfortable to draft him in the first round. Slam dunk. No hesitation. Go get him if he's available, because he's a beast. His projection for next season is 1,460 yards and 10 touchdowns. I think that the touchdowns will be in the 12 to 15 range because he's that good. So, like I said, draft him with confidence because he's a grown man. Which brings us to the number 1 receiver, in my opinion, in fantasy football, and that will be Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a freak of nature. 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds, strong, fast, reliable, great hands, run after the catch. You name it, Julio Jones does it. Spectacular player in an open offense with Dirk Cutter, who loves to throw the football as the offensive coordinator. All those things equal up to Julio Jones, in my opinion, being the number 1 fantasy wide receiver. Matt Ryan throwing in the football, go-to guy. He's going to pepper him with targets as always, and Julio's going to produce as he always does. His season projection is 1,578 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think the yardage is about right, but I think the touchdowns actually should be, I believe, in the 10 to 12 range, because I think they're going to make more of an effort to get him the ball in the red zone. Why he didn't get the ball in the red zone the last couple seasons, I have no idea. But a guy that's that big and that strong and that fast, you got to throw him the ball in the red zone, because I'm sure if you throw it to him, he'll find a way to come down with it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out in Atlanta. But like I said, Julio Jones, grown man, spectacular. That's about all I got for this particular list. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at PhilGrayson6, and feel free to follow me on Instagram, fanatic_Phil. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe down below on YouTube. As always, have a great day. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.